Have you ever met someone who tells the most unbelievable stories? The kind of person who claims they've wrestled a shark or had tea with the Queen? Well, let me tell you about Leo. In our small town, Leo was famous, or maybe infamous, for his tall tales. He was the boy who cried wolf. Except instead of a wolf, it was usually a dragon he claimed to have befriended or a secret treasure he'd found buried in his backyard. At first, we were all charmed. His stories were a splash of color in our quiet, monochrome lives. He'd describe epic sea voyages with such detail you could almost taste the salty air. He'd talk about visiting distant planets, painting vivid pictures of alien landscapes and friendly, three-eyed creatures. As kids, we'd gather around him, eyes wide, completely captivated. But as we grew older, the charm started to wear off. His stories became more outlandish, and our patience grew thin. People started calling him Lying Leo. His classmates would roll their eyes when he started a sentence with, "You won't believe what happened to me." Teachers would gently correct him, trying to steer him back to reality. Soon, Leo found himself isolated. The circle of listeners dwindled until he was often just talking to himself, spinning tales for the birds in the trees. It was sad, really. We all just wanted him to be normal, to talk about homework or weekend plans like everyone else. We couldn't understand why he had to live in a fantasy world. One winter, a fierce blizzard hit our town like nothing we had ever seen. The snow fell relentlessly, burying roads and cutting off power. It was beautiful at first, but it quickly became dangerous. The town was paralyzed. That's when we heard the news. Old Mr. Henderson, who lived alone at the edge of town, was running low on his heart medication. The roads were impassable, and no one could get to him. Panic began to set in among the adults. While everyone was worrying and waiting for a miracle, Leo was gone. His parents were frantic. We all assumed the worst, or that he'd simply run off into one of his imaginary worlds. A few hours later, just as dusk was settling in, a small figure appeared at the edge of town, trudging through the deep snow. It was Leo. He was exhausted, covered in snow, but in his hand he clutched a small pharmacy bag. It turned out Leo knew a path through the woods that no one else did. A path he'd always described as a secret elven trail in his stories. While we had all dismissed it as another one of his fantasies, it was real. He had navigated the treacherous, snow-covered forest all the way to the next town and brought back Mr. Henderson's medicine. He didn't tell a soul he was going. He just did it. That day, something shifted in our town. We looked at Leo differently. We realized his stories weren't just lies. They were expressions of a heart that was bigger and braver than any of us had imagined. His fantasies were just his way of seeing the world, a world full of adventure, courage, and hidden paths where others only saw obstacles. He wasn't Lying Leo anymore. He was our hero. His biggest story turned out to be the truest one of all. The story of a boy with a huge heart who saved a life. It taught us all a valuable lesson. Sometimes, the people who seem the most different, the ones who live in their own worlds, are the ones who see things we can't. They have a different kind of magic. So next time you meet a Leo, maybe listen a little closer. Their unbelievable stories might just have a core of incredible truth. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.